Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 112 of the Social Liability Podcast, the podcast where we discuss those folks in our lives that violate the social contracts that we all agree to live by. I am your host, The Raspberries, with my co-host, The Buck, bringing you new and interesting stories from the far reaches of the interwebs. And this is another one of our technical difficulties branded episodes. Normally we...
There was nothing technical about it, man. That was an organic biological difficulty, man. That's one of the trials and rigors of having a disability, man.
See, I was gonna be nice and say it was a technical problem. In reality, it was a Buck problem. So, the episode we ended up starting this one. We just weren't able to finish it. So we're gonna start. We decided, we're not gonna try to edit this down and try to fix it. We're just gonna do the whole thing over again. So it might sound a little different than normal, but it is what it is. It's so that we can still get content to you, the listener. Excuse me. So, Buck, we're going to jump right into this here, and we got one from Oklahoma News 4, KFOR.com. Woman falls headfirst in an outdoor toilet while trying to retrieve her phone. It wasn't an unusual... I'm sorry. It wasn't the usual mountain rescue for the first responders in Washington's Olympic National Forest. Instead of rescuing a hiker that was stranded on top of a mountain, they came to an aid of a woman who was stuck inside of an outdoor toilet. The woman that was using the facilities at Mount Walker Vista Point on Tuesday when she dropped her cell phone into the underground container below the vault toilet. The vault toilet, typically found in campgrounds and near hiking trails, is waterless and non-flushing, also known as a fucking hole in the ground. I mean, that's what it is. It's an outhouse. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, if you say outhouse, if people don't know what an outhouse is, they haven't been raised correctly. The woman first tried to get the phone out herself by taking the toilet seat and housing apart and using her dog's leash to fish the phone out. There was floaters down there, but they weren't fish, let me tell you right now. Cruz said that she was using the dog's leash to support herself when she fell headfirst into the toilet. After attempting for 15 or 20 minutes to get herself out of the container, the woman was able to get her hands on her phone and call 911. 2 fire departments responded and made a makeshift cribbing platform tall enough for the woman to stand on and be pulled to her safety. According to the one fire department, the woman was washed down and given a Tyvek personal protective equipment suit in the style of a coverall to wear. She did not wish to be taken to the hospital. Cruz, however, did urge her to seek medical attention after the exposure to human waste, but she only wanted to leave and continue on her way to California. The woman said, they said the woman was lucky not to have been to become ill due to the toxic gases or being hurt from the fall itself. A couple questions come to mind for this, Buck, and I'm hoping that, unfortunately, we're not going to have the answers. But one, I want to know what kind of cell phone case this woman had, because she dropped this cell phone into human filth, and it was in there for quite some time, presumably at least, like, let's just say 40 minutes, because 20 minutes trying to fish it out, 20 minutes after she fell in, and it still worked. She still was able to find it, and it still worked, and she was able to get a call 911. So one, I want to know what kind of case she had. Next, I want to know what kind of phone she had that was getting reception at the bottom of a hole beneath the shithouse.
Yeah, I mean, like, who made your case? And who's your cell phone carrier? There are many, many opportunities there to just market the fuck out of shit. Oh my gosh, you could have a field day with that. And going back to the article though, I'm not gonna score this lady really at all, because getting stuck in a porta potty over something stupid?
Well, I mean, you say stupid, Buck, but how much did your phone cost?
No. What I'm saying is something stupid would be like a pack of gum. Okay?
Okay.
We're not talking about a pack of gum. We're talking about, probably a $1,000 phone, which is far from something stupid. If it were something stupid, we could rate this woman. Like, what kind of dipshit goes head over heels into a freaking hole of shit?
I prefer the term. I prefer the term ass over tea kettle.
Yeah, but whatever the case may be, man. You say potato, I say ass over elbows or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that I personally wouldn't go through that. I insure the fuck out of everything I have. If I were to drop my phone in the toilet, I do. I insure everything I have because I run over everything with this damn wheelchair I'm in. So for me, if I were to drop something in the toilet, I'd be like, well, it's going to be a rough couple of days without my phone, but I'll live. And I'd get a new one for free. I insure it. Somebody who doesn't, or, imagining myself in a world where I didn't protect everything that I have religiously and, almost stupidly, I could see myself trying to, like, Apollo 13 my way into a solution, and like, if all she's got is a dog leash, like, kudos to her for even trying to fish it out. I mean, like, you got to risk it for the biscuit, man. That's all she did.
You gotta risk it for the biscuit? Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, that's the truth, though, man. Like, all she did, like, so what? She's not going to stand on, like, the winner's pedestal. You're not going to get even a bronze medal for this performance, lady. But at least you went in there and you gave it your all, and you weren't a bitch about it. It's like, no, I'm not even going to go to the hospital. I'm just going to go home and lay down. She probably went home and had, like,
and forget this day ever happened.
Like, all she was, like, the second she fell in, her mindset was, once 11:59 turns in midnight, today is over. That's it. Like, she went home, soaked herself in the most abnormally, like, disgustingly comfortable bath that she could get herself into with like an entire carafe of wine, and I don't blame her. Like, I hope she did, man. I hope she had a soak with all the bath bombs,
man. All the bath bombs.
But no, so I'm not gonna score this lady. I'm just gonna I'm gonna kind of, like, put my head in my hand for her, be like, but no score.
No score, indeed. Okay, Buck, we're going to move on then to a story from FoxNews.com. West Virginia man confuses meth for vehicle registration during traffic stop. A West Virginia man was arrested and charged after allegedly handing officers a bag of suspected meth instead of his vehicle's registration during a traffic stop. Officers with the Bridgeport Police Department pulled over Roy Porter, 57, Sunday for a suspected improper registration. It's either improper or it's not. What's the suspect about it? According to WBOY 12 News, after handing over what apparently is believed to be his registration and a bag containing pieces of a crystal-like substance, the officers were a bit confused. The officers brought in a drug-sniffing dog to search the vehicle. Porter was carrying approximately 4 grams of meth, while passenger Jared Merrill had almost 220 grams of meth, according to the officers. Both men were arrested and taken to Bridgeport Police Department for processing. They later were taken to North Central Regional Jail. Merrill, 21, was released after posting bail, and he was charged with possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance. Porter was charged with conspiracy to commit a felony and is being held at the North Central Regional Jail with bail set at $5,000. Well, here, officer, here's my registration and some meth. Do you think the guy like legit didn't know what he was handing to him, or do you think it was a bribe, like the worst bribe ever for a cop?
It is 1,000,000,000% explainable and understandable why he is on our social liability podcast. What an idiot!
There you go.
No, man. We can comedically speculate that it's a bad bribe, but I would have to just really blame this on just, like, the perfect storm of piss poor planning, maybe some genetic defects, and quite possibly just outright stupidity. You mix those three things in a bucket together, nothing good comes out of it, and this is empirical evidence.
I love the fact that this guy was So the old guy hands over the baggie to the officer, and the officer says, "Oh my God, we've got meth," and he's got like 4 grams. The kid who's with him has like 220 grams. So when it's time to bail out, the kid gets out, leaves the old fart in the cell, and says, "No, you got us into this bitch," and left his ass in jail behind.
Now, did it say why they were initially even stopped to begin with?
Suspected something with their registration, improper registration. So they probably had a sticker or something on their license plate that was wrong, or they thought it was wrong. It was probably a pretextual stop. Let's be honest. There's probably more to the story than we're hearing for the reason for the stop. But that's the reason on the affidavit of probable cause, I'm sure, is the improper registration.
Right. I'm just wondering, like, that's a good point, though, man. If it were something of merit, it would have been in the article. And the fact that it isn't means that they were just whoever wrote the report just really put some cookie cutter language in there to make it look good for the DA's office. But at the end of the day, stupid ass meth heads driving around. I'm gonna have to. That's about as bad as the DUI, man. Like that's an automatic 3.
It actually doesn't say whether they're using it. It just said they had it.
You know what though, man? I mean,
I think it's kind of hard to equate it to a DUI though, because it's like saying that you're driving home from the liquor store with a 6-pack in the car, and you should be treated the same as somebody who's drunk. Just because they had it doesn't mean they were intoxicated. Now, I'm not advocating meth. I'm not advocating meth by any stretch of the imagination. My point is, it actually doesn't say they were. It actually doesn't say they were. They didn't get a DUI charge or anything of that nature. It doesn't say they were using it at the time. They were probably looking to sell it.
Well, I can see that for the younger guy, but the older guy, I am wildly speculating that they were both high on something, because the confusion about handing your registration along with the baggie of meth kind of indicates that your wits were not 100% about you. So, that's where that speculation came from. Either way, with that much meth, I'm still going to stick with a 3. Because whether they were selling it, using it, they were driving it.
Yeah, and they were,
and meth is just a shit substance to begin with, man.
They're either going to use it or they're going to sell it. So fuck them. I'm not giving them a lower score than the 3 by any stretch. I'm just saying, they didn't get charged with DUI, so I don't want to say that they were. They were dealers, at least.
Fair enough. I will definitely tip my hat to you on that one.